Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Let's explore another characteristic of God today and see how that impacts our lives. I'm going to continue from Psalm 91, verse 2 today. God is our refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Yesterday we talked about God as our refuge, God who is a place of shelter in the difficult times. The difference between a refuge and a fortress, which we're going to talk about today, is shelters are places we go temporarily for relief, and fortresses are places where we dwell in safety. A little bit of a different emphasis there. Refuges, like I said, are places of relief. They're not so much armored, offensive weapons. They're just safe places. A fortress, and I'm sure we're all familiar with a fortress somewhere in our area. For example, here in Halifax, we have the Citadel, which is a big fortress up on top of the high point in the city, and just incredibly thick walls and gates and cannons, and a place of safety, but also a place from which the forces go out against the enemy as well. It is an equipping place. A fortress is an equipping place, a training place, a getting ready to do battle place. And that's our God as well. Our God is that place of refuge, which is a place of relief and safety, but he's also a fortress, a place where we get trained. David wrote in the Psalms, "You train my arms to bend a bow of bronze. You train my hands for battle." The reality is we live in a world where there is an enemy, and he does come against us. We are admonished by Paul to fight the good fight of faith. Well, from where do we fight that? From our own strength? Oh, goodness, no. We fight from the fortress of our God. As we dwell in the presence of our God, he equips us. And, Paul talks about put on the full armor of God. Well, where do you find the armor? In the fortress. And that's where you put it on. That's where you learn how to use it effectively. And that's our God. Our God is a fortress. He's a place where he equips us and enables us and empowers us and gifts us and graces us, so that we can go out into life and do the battle of faith, trusting in him. We're doing the work of his kingdom, bringing justice and mercy and peace and grace and love and sanity to the world that we live in. And sometimes that's a battle. Sometimes we get beat up. Sometimes we just get weary. And maybe even wounded. And the fortress is a place we come back into to be renewed and healed and re-equipped, to get a new sword when ours gets broken, to get a new breastplate of righteousness when ours gets dented by the enemy, and a new shield when it's full of the flaming arrows that the enemy has shot against us. That's a fortress, a place of equipping, a place of enabling and preparing and training to get us prepared to do battle with life and to be victorious. So that's a great way of seeing our God, isn't it? God is our fortress. He's our fortress. Well, I encourage you today, spend some time in the fortress. Get in God's fortress today and just say, God, equip me. God, prepare me for battle. God, strengthen me. God, train me up so that I can be strong and successful in the battle of life. That's good news for us today, isn't it? Let's think about that and spend some time in the fortress today. God bless. We'll talk again tomorrow.